Welcome to It Can Get Better Than This. I'm Dr. Cindy Byler,
And I'm Heather Hodge.
and we are starting season 3 today.
Yes, season 3.
Yay!
Woo!
So, we want to talk about intentional relationships this season. So, we're going to be
Mhm.
handing you a lot of relationship tools in this, especially in this episode, but throughout the season.
Yeah, I think what we did was we broke 3 different concepts down into 2 respective parts for each concept, and that will make up the next 6 episodes. So you're going to want to tune into all of them.
Okay, so a few years ago, I started researching on how to find true long lasting happiness. I didn't want just something that was just there for a minute or that was drummed up or fake. I wanted something there that was going to be there for a long time,
Like a search for the Holy Grail, huh?
pretty much.
Searching for happiness.
So I read articles, science reviewed article, or peer reviewed articles,
Peer reviewed, yeah.
listen to podcasts, YouTube videos, all over the place.
Did you find anything?
I I found all kinds of stuff. So I found 6 steps to happiness, 5 things you can do right now to be happy, and a lot of stuff, on and on. So most were not backed up with science, and some would only work for certain segments of people, depending on demographics and things like finances, social status, geographical location, things like that.
Yeah.
So many believe that as their wealth and success increase, so will their happiness. But did you know that United Nations does research? They did research and they showed that across cultures that once material needs are met, like food, shelter, and security, higher incomes up to the billions do not show that people are happier as their financial status improves.
Oh, wow.
So it is nice to have your needs met, but after you get to the point where your financial needs are met at the point of being met and you know that you can meet the bills every month, your happiness does not go up even if you are very, very wealthy.
Mm.
What this study and others show is that evidence that relationships are the number one key to finding true happiness. Unfortunately, it is our close friends and family that we see every day that we have a tendency to neglect those relationships and take them for granted because they're on the daily.
So you're saying that those are the relationships that are the keys to the happiness
Yes,
are your closest ones.
right.
Hmm.
But those are the ones that we often just kind of let go and let them just float
Yeah,
because
they're safe.
they're safe and we know we're counting on them that they're going to be there no matter what.
Yeah, I think you get to a point, especially when you get home from work or whatever you've been, where you have to have your face out in public. That
Hmm.
you get to the point where you let your guard down, and if it's been a rough day or whatever, you're just
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes we don't keep intentional contact with our friends that don't live with us, so
yeah.
the relationship can kind of get separated a little bit.
Mhm. So they live with us. They're part of our daily lives, and because they're around us 24/7, not 24/7, but because they're around us the most, they see you at your best and your worst, and they're in your most vulnerable moments. Your your shell, your mask, whatever comes off
Right.
in front of them.
Right. Which
But
is what we need to be able to do.
yeah, but sometimes that can be at the cost of taking them for granted.
Right. So we need to be very intentional with our close relationships.
Probably
Um,
more so than the other outside relationships.
yes. Yes. So that's why we started this. One of the reasons we started this podcast was because we want you to have relationship skills and concepts, understand those concepts and walk in them so that you can have happiness in your life.
Right.
You can have fulfilled, healthy relationships for the long term.
And that takes skills and
Takes work.
yeah, there's a lot of tools like that's what you get in therapy too. You get
Right.
tools to make things work and make things better in your life, but a lot of them are surprisingly geared around those relationships and
Hmm.
making it better.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now we know why.
Now we know. So, Harvard did a study called the Harvard Study of Adult Development, probably the longest study that's ever been done. It was, well, it's been across the span of years, but I saw a TED Talk on What Makes a Good Life. It's by one of the more recent directors, I'm trying to say his name all together in one.
Robert Waldinger.
Yeah, Robert Waldinger.
Yeah.
So if you would like to find out more about this study, he's all over YouTube and TED Talks. We're going to talk about his study a little bit. It's it started in 1938,
Oh wow.
and started by tracking the lives of 724 men. So you think about 1938, and it was up in the northern of part of the country, and they would year after year ask about home lives of these men, their health, their education, their careers, finances, every aspect of their life, just tracking it through the years. Projects like this usually fall apart because either the funding falls through, or I was going to say the contestants, the people in the study that are being studied,
Yeah.
are
They're just not interested
they
anymore.
lose
Yeah.
interest, or people change roles and they're not in it anymore. But as the directors changed roles, another director would pick this study up. So it
Oh
went on,
wow.
and they also started studying the children of these men that the study started with. So it's a really cool study. And the study is constantly corroborated. I'm going to say the word right. Corroborated with the results of other studies with other diverse populations, because this is going to be a pretty much a white male population in
Yeah.
Boston. So there were two groups. One third of them were sophomores at Harvard. It finished during World War II, and uh, all of the candidates, all the people in it, the study went into World War II. Two-thirds of the young men were from disadvantaged families in Boston. So they had all kinds of young men in there. Some became bricklayers, some became factory workers. There's one president that he became president much later. So when they started the study, they had no idea he'd become president. It was JFK.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they had quite a diverse population as far as their career, their careers turned out.
Okay.
So the key finding in it was that the people who stayed the healthiest and lived the longest and were the happiest were the ones that were most connected to others. So good relationships keep us happier and healthier.
Mm. So for people who don't like people, this is bad news. Okay.
Even people that don't like people have one or two people that they have a relationship
Oh,
with
okay. Well,
usually.
we're good. Got two or three.
Right. So, right, you're going to really have to hone in on those and make it work.
Okay.
So, we're going to go through three of the key findings and kind of break them down ourselves. The first one is that social connections are really good for us, and loneliness is very unhealthy for us. We need to be connected to other people. Being in community keeps us happier and healthier, and we live longer than those who are less connected.
Okay.
A good relationship is a stress regulator.
So if your man stresses you out,
You better fix him.
he's
No.
not helping. You can't fix him.
I'm just kidding. So if we live in a stressful home, or we have a lot of stressful relationships, our bodies are constantly in the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode.
So it's not just mental, it's physical.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
this affects our bodies as well, which is one of the points later on, not the point that we're making now.
It's a good motivator to be a healthy member of your family too, and
Yes,
not be a problem.
right. Yeah, that's a good point, because we should really not just think about our relationships around us, but how are we in
You're killing
relationships?
them. But yeah, thinking about it. Sorry.
So,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, but you think about like even like if you have kids, stressing your kids out. Did you do this? Did you do that? And allowing your stress to overflow onto them, especially in like elementary school, middle school years
oh,
too.
yeah,
When their bodies are not even like they haven't even had a chance to learn how to co-regulate and stuff like that.
right,
And the person that they're taking all their stuff off of is, the adults in the house.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's our responsibility to become healthy adults,
Yeah.
not our children to act just right.
Right.
We're there to teach them how to regulate and how to be healthy adults, not the other way around.
I got a new thing for my fridge. Okay.
So, along with social media and all the things that have come with the digital age, has also come an epidemic of loneliness. We
Yeah.
think that because we have all these friends on social media and we're scrolling through and, oh yeah, this person's doing this thing in their life and we like it or comment on it.
We're seeing, I mean, we're seeing their families, we're seeing all the good points of their lives
Right.
too.
But it's not connecting us together like we think it does. We can share everything that we want to about our lives and see everything about their lives, but it is actually creating more loneliness than it and disconnect than it is healthy relationships
Hmm.
because um, we're not really connecting. It's the one-on-one personal contact that is connecting.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be in person, but in person helps. But over the phone, like having a conversation and living life together is what builds that connectedness, not social media.
I've heard that FaceTime or whatever platform you use for video chatting is also really helpful.
Hmm.
Um, I even saw, and I don't know how true it is. I saw a couple of people say that when you're doing screen time with your kids, that actually one of the best ways to do that is to video chat other people
Yeah. Yeah,
because
because you're
they're
connecting.
still getting connection with like real people.
Right. Right. But
Hmm.
scrolling on other platforms, Facebook and all that is not
Yeah,
all
there's
that
a
healthy for
big
social
old wall.
connection. Right.
Yeah.
So one time I was doing a FaceTime call a couple months ago with you and Ben,
Hmm.
and I've had this happen since, but that was the first time I saw it. The phone comes up and like I don't see them anymore. It says your connection with Heather is unstable,
Oh no.
and of course my brain is like, isn't that funny? Because we think that we're socially connecting so well over the phone, and yet it's really unstable. It's really not as healthy and connected as
Right.
we think it is. So that really just cracked me up. We also compare ourselves to what everybody else is doing and how their lives are going, and we're only seeing what they're giving us, not really the nitty gritty of what's going on underneath.
Right. Right.
So,
Getting the best parts.
right. So the second key finding is that it's not just the number of friends that you have, or if you're in a committed relationship, which is good news for people. It's the quality of relationships that you have that make the difference in happiness.
Mm.
So, high conflict marriages and relationships, like we just talked about, are terrible for our health. Living in good, warm relationships, good, healthy relationships, is actually protective of our brains and our bodies.
Have you ever seen somebody get out of a bad relationship and you're like, man, they are glowing.
Yes,
They are
yes,
literally glowing.
right. Like, and they're
They're physically glowing.
right, yeah, and the light, their countenance is different, but also like the color of their skin changes, and that you
Get
can
the light back
just
in their
yeah,
eyes.
you can just
Yeah.
see a total difference in somebody when they come out of a very toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Um, in the Harvard study, they tried to predict how the participants would be when they reached their 50s. No, I'm sorry, when they reached their 80s, when these men were in their 50s. Can
Mm.
you imagine studying people and years later, you're trying to predict how they're going to be in their 80s by when they're in their 50s? This study just blows my mind because you just don't get very many studies that are this long.
Right. And I mean, it's a pretty successful longevity study, but
That's
thinking that
crazy.
you're working on what you're working on, they won't be able to see the findings for 30 years. So you might not even be the same person to
Right,
find the findings. Is
right.
crazy.
So they found that the people who were the most satisfied in their relationships in their 50s
Hmm.
were the healthiest at the age of 80.
Wow.
So, not that I'm in my 50s yet, but when I get there, I need to be careful because I want to be really happy and healthy at the age of 80.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and the good news is that the relationship doesn't have to be a marriage or a committed partner. They can be really good friends too. And bad friends drain you. So, even our friendships that don't live with us, but that we have, make a difference on our health and our happiness and
Yeah.
and our longevity of life.
I think that's why it's important to not just make sure that you have good friends, but that you're being a good friend and that you're treasuring those relationships.
Yes.
My best friend and I have a Golden Girls plan where if we wind up widowed or they go before us or whatever, we're going to be like the Golden Girls, and then the leftover husband's going to be the pool boy.
There you go.
And
Or the cook.
Oh, he can have multiple jobs. He's a husband. There's a lot of work he could do. But but she is one of the most like dear people, and that's like one of those like I'll drop anything. Like, what do you need? Kind of people.
Right, right, right. And we need those people in our lives.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The third finding was good relationships don't protect just our bodies. And we've already talked about this because we've gotten ahead of the ball again.
Yeah.
They protect our brains. And that's really important. Um,
And now you're not just talking about mentally, but like our physical
our physical
brains.
brains, right. My mom passed of Alzheimer's last year, and watching her decline made me even more want to protect my brain in every way that I possibly can so that I don't suffer the same fate.
Yeah, one of the ways that you brought up was you told me you wanted to start walking every day.
Hmm.
And that's twofold because you're walking with me,
Yes,
which is a good
the best
relationship.
relationship ever.
But we go on long, I mean, we walk and we talk for a while.
Yes.
We get at least a 20-minute walk in as much as we
Hmm.
can,
Right.
weather permitting. We walked one time in the rain. We'll not do that again.
Oh, no, no. And I had a client right afterwards, so that was really interesting. It wasn't supposed to
Sheesh.
rain.
But that's another good opportunity to I mean, encouraging walking by yourself anyway, but that's another good opportunity if you can to talk with somebody is if you can go on a
Hmm.
walk with them.
Yes, and studies show that walking and talking is really good for healing your brain.
Yeah, it does the EMDR effect too, the
Right.
left right
Hmm.
of your feet.
Right. It's very healing.
So,
So if you have something that you need to work through, go for a walk while you're working through it in your brain or walking with somebody and talk about it. It
yeah.
really helps lodge it, unlodge it for the part of your brain that it gets stuck in and really helps your brain to process it better or
Yeah.
effectively.
Yeah.
Okay, so good relationships protect our brains. When a person is in a relationship, and this is a key, in which they really feel like they can count on the other person in times of need, their memory stayed sharper longer. Their brains declined more slowly, so they stayed cognitive longer as they aged. So, the best part about all this in this study is the relationships didn't have to be smooth all the time. You get some couples that like to bicker some.
Yep.
Not looking at anybody in particular in the room. And it was okay that they bickered day in and day out. But if they knew that they could count on one another
Be there for each other.
and be
Yeah.
there for each other, and if they showed care and respect towards each other, then those arguments didn't really take a toll on their brains.
Okay. So it's not like constant bickering. So if mom and dad are bickering, it's okay.
And it's not fighting is different than bickering.
Yeah.
And some couples enjoy the bickering back and forth,
They do.
which I don't get, but that's okay. But
They're
so
funny to watch.
it is funny. These couples, not the bickering ones, but the couples that knew that they could count on each other worked through conflict. And
Mhm.
that's essential because every I don't care what kind of relationship you have, at some point you're going to have to work through some conflict.
Yeah.
And to know that you can work all the way through it helps your brain to relax and know that I can count on this person to be here. They're not going to disappear if we have an issue.
Yeah.
So it's really important that if you're in a relationship and you can't resolve conflict together, that you get with somebody that can help you resolve the conflict because it makes a difference as you grow older. It makes a difference now, and it makes a difference as you grow older that you know that you can work all the way through the conflict.
Yeah. Being on the same team will help with that. And sometimes it does take a few times to find a good therapist because it's not just about their qualifications. It is about that, but it's not just that. It's also do they fit? Like, are they understanding both people? Like, even if one of them is extremely wrong, can they at least hear you out? Can they understand like the dynamics of your
Right,
relationship and stuff too?
right.
And
Is it a
sometimes,
good fit?
yeah, yeah, and like finding that I feel like I can trust this person too
Mm-hmm.
is important.
Right, right. So many of the participants in the study, this Harvard study, really believed that fame and wealth would make them happier. But those who fared the best really worked on their relationships over time.
So oftentimes we hear. I mean, I don't know. I like this kind of stuff. I love listening to podcasts and books and stuff about relationships and self help and everything. I have since I was a kid. It's fun, but um, when things are specifically difficult, or there's like something that we see that we're struggling with and we're trying to get help immediately, we're trying to find a quick fix.
Mhm.
Like, just say this and the problem should go away pretty much. Or say this and whoever you're struggling with will just get it. But anything worth doing is going to take time and
Unders
real
understanding
yeah,
each
and
other.
unfortunately relationships are not clean cut.
No, they're not.
They all of them, they can be I mean, not messy in terms of like super dramatic all the time and everything, but they are complex
Yes.
at the least they are
Right,
complex.
because each of us are pretty complex people.
Right.
There's very few people that are just even if they think they're simple, they're not simple people
Yeah.
because there's a lot that goes into us from nurture and nature,
Yeah, feelings to different
personalities.
life and life experiences
Right,
too. And
right.
like however their family dynamic was growing up or whatever their environment was growing up can be very different
Hmm.
from person to
Yeah.
person.
So there's a lot that plays into the individual, and then when you get two individuals together trying to develop a relationship, whatever that relationship is, it can be complex. It is
Yeah.
complex.
So it doesn't matter how good things look on social media. And oftentimes, a lot of the couples that you look up to are couples that have been married for a long time and have worked and worked at it. That,
Hmm.
or they're just really, really good at showing you the good side.
Right. That's true. That can happen
And
too.
it's one of those things where you
Uh.
get a shovel, you dig one little hole, and you're like, "Oh, girl, it's bad." But when they're
Mm.
not and they are pretty solid, they have been working on it
Yeah.
for a long time. And even those
Yeah.
couples have stuff. Those friendships where they seem like super, super good because that's how you've seen. If it's not fake, I guarantee you they have done a lot of work.
Yes. Yes. And we also have to take into account that we all go through seasons in life
Yeah.
where some of it's age, but some of it is if we get married and have children and then our children are teenagers, that's a different phase. And then our children leave the nest and there's an empty nest and that's a phase. Or we are at an age where we're the ones taking care of our parents rather than our parents are taking care of them.
Yeah.
There's so many phases in life, and each decade we're different people with different
Yes.
desires and goals and things that we have to accept about ourselves. So we have different personalities and likes and dislikes and habits
Right.
and annoying things that we do and are that affect our relationship. So it's really important that we know that it's going to take work, but the work
Yes.
is so worth it.
Yeah. I mean, it comes back down to why we wanted to do this series is being intentional.
Hmm.
And intentionality is not an overall theme, it's a decision moment by
Yes.
moment.
Right.
Like there was a commercial of it was some sort of like eating healthy commercial about making choices and it was like am I going to eat this donut? No. That's like the one thing I remember from that commercial, but it was
Right.
like it wasn't like you just lose weight. It's like every single choice you make is what leads up to that. But
Right.
it's the same thing with our relationships.
Yeah. Am I
Like
gonna say that even though I really feel like saying that right now? No, I'm not.
right.
I'm gonna back up and shut my mouth until I can say something nice,
Yeah.
or
Or
at
am I
least
going to push
calm.
myself to go out again when I'm burnt? Or am I going to, take a little bit of time to recharge so that I can be
Right,
a better me?
right. It's a lot of choices.
Right.
So that's what we're gonna discuss. That's what we've discussed today. This
Yeah.
Harvard study. Look up Robert. See, I want to say Wobert. Robert Waldinger. Can't even say the last name right. He's got some really great stuff out there. Very interesting. This kind of a long study.
Yeah. Is it a longevity study? Is that what that is?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really worth looking up and finding out more about if you're interested. So that's it for season 3, episode 1. Yay.
Yay. Remember, it can get better than this. We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.